at the Monte Carlo Hotel and Casino Resort on the Las Vegas Strip, and we're joined on the phone now by Tim Szymanski from Las Vegas Fire and Rescue. Thanks very much for taking the time to talk to us on News 24 tonight. This looks like a particularly difficult blaze to tackle, situated as it is right up at the top of the hotel.
It is. It's a little difficult because they're on the top of the building, which is 32 stories high. You don't have fire ladders that can reach up to the 32nd floor. They can only go up to about the 6th or 7th floor. The fire appears to be on the exterior of the building, not on the inside. The building is fully equipped with automatic fire sprinklers in it. The building has been evacuated, so there's no reported injuries. It's just difficult to put out because the firefighters are having to make their way to the roof of the building, carrying fire hoses, air tanks, and other equipment, and then setting it up and then putting the water down on the fire. There is debris falling from the roof, and it's falling on the lower floors, and some ladder trucks on the lower floors are putting those fires out, but right now it appears that all of the fire is on the exterior of the building at this time.
So do you have any idea at this obviously very early stage what could have caused this if the fire seems to be on the exterior of the building?
We have no idea at this time, and at this point there's no idea. The call come in from several people on the street on the Las Vegas Strip that says that the roof of the building was on fire. When our fire units from the county of Clark and city of Las Vegas arrived on scene, the fire had spread considerably, again, mostly on the outside of the building, and that's where the firefighters are working right now. They're up on the roof, spraying water down on the fire. They got the bulk of the fire out, but there are still these spot fires on either end and some fires from falling debris that they are putting out at this time.
And just confirm for us, if you would, Mr. Szymanski, have all the guests and staff been safely removed from the hotel?
That's right. They're saying that everybody's been evacuated and they've moved out to the street as a precaution. The police are at other hotels, so if they have to be evacuated, but that would be because of the falling material. Right now, there's no reports of anybody injured from this incident.
So you've got a lot of crews, I presume, at the scene?
Yes, there's multiple units from the city of Las Vegas and Clark County and Henderson Fire Department on scene. Probably about 40 units with probably close to 200 firefighters on scene. And
they're approaching it from underneath and from above?
Yep, there's crews on the outside from the falling debris that are falling down, putting those fires out, but the bulk of the firefighters are working their way up to the roof and to the interior of the building to put this fire out.
Just give us some idea of where this hotel and casino are situated on the Las Vegas Strip. Obviously a very, very famous strip there in the county of Nevada or in the state of Nevada. Tell us where this hotel is situated.
It's on the southern end of the strip near the New York and the MGM Grand, towards the south end, towards Tropicana Boulevard and Las Vegas Boulevard, which is called the Strip.
But it's beside all of those big casinos that people would be familiar with.
Yeah, most people know where the New York and MGM are. The Tropicana Boulevard is where the Tropicana Hotel is. The Monte Carlo is just directly north of New York, and across the street from the MGM Grand.
Do you have any idea how many people were staying in the hotel at the time?
No, I have no idea how many people were in the hotel. It's a 3,000-room hotel, and Las Vegas generally has about a 95% occupancy, which means that 95% of the time, most of the hotel rooms inside the city are full.
Are you confident at this early stage that you can bring this under control and limit the spread of this fire fairly quickly?
Yeah, it is darkening down quite a bit. There's hardly any flames visible now at this time. What's going to be difficult is just the firefighters mopping up. And since this is on the exterior of the building on the side, and you're 32 stories up, it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to reach because, again, we don't have any ladders that'll reach that high.
Okay, well, once again, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Tim Szymanski from Las Vegas Fire and Rescue there.
Well, let's join our correspondent David Willis, who's actually at the moment in Los Angeles. David, you know Las Vegas pretty well. Do you know that hotel too?
Yes, I know that hotel very well. In fact, we were in Las Vegas just a few days ago and stayed nearby. It's a very large hotel. It's not the biggest in Las Vegas, but it is a large hotel. You heard the fireman there saying there's 3,000 rooms. Now, he mentioned average occupancy in Las Vegas about 95%. Don't forget, this is a weekend. A lot of people come from Los Angeles, where I'm speaking to you from, into Las Vegas for a long weekend. So you can imagine that that hotel is going to be very busy, as indeed the other hotels on the Las Vegas Strip are going to be all over the weekend in the run-up to it. There were some pictures from a local TV station showing a bride running out of the front of the Monte Carlo hotel. There are a lot of course, wedding chapels in the Las Vegas area, so clearly guests are being disrupted. But the latest news is that it doesn't appear that anybody has been injured in this, and we can't keep our fingers crossed that that remains the case.
Extremely fortunate, I guess, that the fire broke out when it did, at the sort of middle of the morning rather than the middle of the night.
Absolutely, very much so. And this hotel was, I understand, quite recently remodeled. We mentioned that it's a 3,000-room hotel. Now, we do know that there are heating ducts at the top of that hotel. Of course, it's too early to say what caused this, but perhaps, I don't know, the refurbishment had something to do with it. I should also point out that Las Vegas has a history of pretty bad, serious fires. Back in 1980, there was a fire at the MGM Grand, what is now called Bally's Hotel, and 84 people died in that. More than, I think, 1,000, I think, were injured. That was a fire which started in a delicatessen. So their memories are pretty keen as far as fires are concerned in Las Vegas. People are pretty wary of this sort of thing, and these pictures will be quite alarming to a lot of Las Vegas residents.
Life in Las Vegas can be fairly cavalier, of course, but I assume that despite, perhaps particularly because of that earlier fire, that standards of safety, especially in terms of the risk of fire, are as high there as anywhere else.
Oh, absolutely. I would say probably higher. I mean, this is somewhere which, you know, it has this sort of outlawed type image. But in actual fact, Las Vegas is very, very professionally run now. It's run to the highest standards. It is an international destination for tourists from not only across the United States, but from around the world. And a lot of these hotels are owned by these big conglomerates. In this particular case, the MGM Mirage, which is one of the largest companies involved in Las Vegas, and they really have got.
We've just lost David Willis. You can see that you can see the firefighters there, actually right up there in amongst the flames now. Beforehand, sometime before we could see them, but they have now emerged, as the gentleman was saying to Anita just now. Quite difficult to fight a fire of that sort when the fire itself has taken hold at the top of the building, which is in fact the 32nd floor, and they've now certainly got themselves together, got in there, because of course the ladders don't go anywhere near high enough. They only go to six or seven floors. So there are various other ways they have to use to get through and get out and get up there, and to do it safely. And we're now actually seeing the effect. You can see the shoots of water coming, the spray coming out.
We're told that there are actually large crowds, as you can imagine, have formed to watch the fire, although, as our guest from Las Vegas Fire and Rescue was saying, some debris is falling, but large crowds have formed to watch the fire and to watch the progress of the firefighters tackling that. Traffic apparently on the Las Vegas Strip was gridlocked as streets were blocked off around the hotel. As we heard, it has more than 3,000 guest rooms. Typically 95% occupancy of hotels on the Las Vegas Strip, so you can do the sums, but all the guests and staff safely removed from the hotel. We're told that the hotel was modelled after the Place du Casino in Monte Carlo in Monaco.
It just looks as though the fire is coming under control a little bit, doesn't it? It was not, although you can see flames there, it doesn't seem quite as widespread as it did 20 minutes or half an hour ago. The fire precautions the hotel would have in place in any way with its own sprinkler systems wouldn't be adequate in this situation. But with the firefighters now very much in evidence on the roof of the hotel and around, it does just begin to look now as if they've got the fire under control. Dramatic pictures, and of course great chunks of debris still falling to the ground. We'll keep a close eye on it, come back to it a little later.
Indeed.